What's up guys, this is ScherBR talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss new content for months in SaGa UniverSe. We got the announcement of the Valentine's banner alongside this special rerun, but data mine already shows much more than that, so we're gonna go straight to that. The first picture showcases the rerun banner, and like I said, this is the best rerun banner we got so far, with Rack Robin and Matriarchs being overpowered styles alongside Golden Ball, another very important character used in hard content. Gustavo and Monica are not that important, but this Monica will have an utility, and I'll talk about that in a few. So the next picture is about the dedicated Valentine's banner that brings Matriarch, Hilda, and Golden Ball. You already have the information about their buffs. We'll be discussing those in a few as well. Then the next picture showcases the second banner. This one will be available 8 days after the Valentine's banner. This is the kids banner that brings young versions of Mikhail and Monica from Romancing Saga 3 and Teame from Saga Frontier 1. And they are actually good styles. We'll be discussing them in a few as well. Then the next picture showcases that we'll get rerun of old Valentine events, Minstrel's Music Valentines. I hope they add the gen rewards so that we can get them again. They did this with one event in the past, so it may happen again. Then there's also this other Valentine's event called Chocolates for Algernon, and hopefully we get gems for those as well. There's also a freestyle of Cordelia here. Then we have information about the first event that will be released today. And this event here is interesting. There's plenty of rewards, even jewels. And you'll be getting some tickets that will allow you to choose what type of resources you want. Like gold pieces, and then Testament of Might, guaranteed tickets, books. Well, it will depend, in my opinion. I'll be getting either the guaranteed ticket or gold pieces. Probably gold pieces. Then we have more information about the tickets in themselves, and they will also allow you to choose some forged materials to get, and of course choose either the ancient or the black iron ones. Don't go for the bronze ones, these materials are terrible. The 3 new equipments that we'll be able to get in the event, 2 gears and 1 accessory. On the second event, we will also be able to get many rewards, as you can see it here. We have also a picture from the kids banner, and this one has plus 20 HP cap when compared to the Valentine's event and the main story right now. So if you don't want to grind as much, you can wait for this event to arrive, you get bigger status. You'll also be able to farm armor in a gear from this event. And you start the fight with 20 BP. This is different, and it will allow you to train some high cost skills. And you can also get these challenges that will allow you to get jewels. We have some information about the quests. We will allow you to get plenty of promotion scrolls, it seems. Hopefully some romancing fights as well. And as you can see as well, we'll be able to get gems based on score from what I see here. Rewards will be sent directly on the present box in a later time. Seems to be a community event, so plenty of good stuff. And they say that you can get also 50 gold pieces a day. That is quite a lot. Recently, we also having events where you can get as much. So helping out maxing characters. We'll be able to farm some fast welfare styles during the event. And there's even Shiato and Rastaban. They are pretty recent. But there is Orive, a pretty rare welfare. And also this T260G that allows you to amplify Proton Rocket. There will be a future version of T260G pretty soon, so that will help as well. Now I am on Discord, and Hider43 posted all the release dates for content. Thank you so much for doing that. First, we have the release of the 2 events related to Valentines on today's reset. Then 3 days after that, we'll get the 2 rerun events. And 5 days after the rerun events, we'll get the kids events. There are 2 different events for the same banner. So here we are on Reddit in a post by Hans43. We have the comparison from the JP to global buffs. So thank you so much for always doing this amazing job. And they buffed the status from Matriarch. They made her endurance better because it was pretty low. Increased it a little of her will. But she still has lower endurance and will than the Matriarch number 4. Her agility is also buffed, and it's now on similar levels to the Matriarch number 6 from JP. They didn't change any of the passives. I was expecting something for the second one, maybe Strong Guard, but they didn't do that. They changed the skill 1 and made her critical to Undead and Demon, because she is always critical against Undead and Demon. What she has the same kit, as always. 4 EP per turn, starting with 12. 5% increase in damage to everyone in the squad, and 5% reduction in damage for everyone in the squad. And instead of having high protect tension, like the fourth one has, we have our wall defense 6 that decreases damage by 40% instead of 30, making her a little sturdier for hard challenges. So we have 40% here, and then 5 means that she doesn't take too much damage, although her will and endurance are lower. Will being lower is more of a problem because she may get hit with ailments, but the difference is not that big anyway. The skill number 1 has a chance to attack 2 times, so, well, it's not that bad, but I do think that it should have been a little cheaper. But you don't attack with Matriarch that often, and I don't think this is still good. Maybe when you have to overdrive and you only have 4 BP, that may help you because it applies defense down. And this one, when leveled up to 99, decreases the resistance of the enemies by 15%. But because we have so many different mechanics, it doesn't really translate into a 15% increase in damage. It's usually just 5% from my point of view. Then the second is a full AoE attack with Pierce and Sun like she always has, and it's not that strong, it's only the power, critical to Undead. It has a chance to charm the targets. She has a very high charisma to try to inflict charm. We'll work in the future, we'll have a remembrance battle where you can inflict charm or confusion to stop some enemies from attacking, but there are other options for these elements, like Vagras can confuse and he can do the job. And then skill number 3 is Busted. Well, it's an amazing skill. For 12 VP, you get a full status debuff to all enemies, debuffing 15% for all status, and then you buff all character status by 25%. So, both versions of Nawal's Daughter effects included here, and the extra effects as well. We get defense enhancement that lasts for 4 turns and decreases damage by 15%, and we also apply defense now to increase the damage that we inflict of 15%. But like I said, translates into 5% usually. So, lasts for 4 turns, and we use 12. That means that we can cast every 3 turns. The defense enhancement effect is good because it will be on 30% when it stacks, but most of the time just 15%. But the cost is too high, guys, and we were expecting a decrease in the cost, maybe even without this new effects, but they didn't do that. So the problem here is that Matriarch is a main buffer. She can buff almost all turns for the whole fight. So you are dropping that strategy where you have one character buffing all status to just have one that buffs every 3 turns and he buffs. And you don't need to buff all status or debuff all status. And enemies sometimes just buff break or debuff break. So depending on the circumstances, this is not helpful. And well, the best strategy in the game still is using Peon of Victory or Peon of Peace all turns. So hence why I don't think this is so important, and maybe in the future if they release a Matriarch with better BP game, may make more sense. But right now, current game, Matriarch number 4 is still better because she can heal and apply a shield, while this one will have to choose either Peon of Victory or Peon of Peace without the shield and heal effect. So, actually, kind of skippable because of that. Then we have Hilda, and they buffed her status. She became much stronger for damage. She only buffs 5% Dexterity and Love and gets 1 BP. I think they should have gave her something like plus 15 Dexterity and 1 BP. Then she has high Protect Tension now, becoming more defensive for Remembrance. And 30% damage. So we have 50% damage, 30% damage reduction. She can heal. She has a full AoE attack that applies Ward down. Well, this just increases the damage you inflict. It's just like defense down, but this one cannot stack with itself. Does stack with defense down. And skill number 3 is a nuke that hits between 3 to 4 times with Pierce and Sun. She is good because she heals. And if you didn't get Diana, for example, she will help you in Remembrance. But Diana is the superior unit. In my opinion, she is strong if she can inherit Alarm and makes the old version of Hilda not that important anymore. but only if you can inherit that skill. But she does not beat the support of Diana and does not beat the damage of Seattle or Shuzer or Darky. The third one is Golden Ball, and she was buffed. They increased her will to 66%. That may seem low, but you haven't seen the past Golden Ball will being terrible. So this kind of helps in some content where she gets inflicted with ailments all the time. They buffed her agility as well. But the most important thing is that they added the same passive that she buffs 15% endurance to all surviving allies when she's attacked. And this is actually amazing. It's why we use Golden Ball most of the time. But not just that, the original Golden Ball can also apply a guard up that decreases damage by 35%. That's pretty big. And she can inherit Ki to just get more BP and keep that spell active at all times. If she gets hit, she has a chance to buff VP. This one doesn't. She also has 40% damage reduction, while this one only has 30%. But she does get an endurance buff to the party of 25% when she heals someone by skill number 1. That helps getting extra endurance right on the start. But, well, the original strategy, in my opinion, is still superior. But they fixed the character so that if you don't have the first one, then this one will help. But the first one is on a rerun banner with a superior Matriarch. So if you don't have that Matriarch, if you don't have the Golden Ball, I still recommend pulling there than pulling here. It just makes much more sense. She has a guard up, but it's just for herself, and it's an attack. Well, she does not need to do damage. It's not a damage dealer anyway. And skill number 2 applies Morale Down. So if you had enough BP, you could cast Morale Down, but you are applying something for decreasing damage by 15% instead of decreasing by 35% from her spell on the first premium style. So I don't think this gameplay is superior. It does work if you are planning to summon here and we will skip the first Golden Ball, but it's kind of an inferior strategy. So for the current banner, in my opinion, it still receives a gold award of sorts by having Matriarch. It's still the second best Matriarch to inherit the Peon buffs. But because of the past Matriarch having the shield that also heals, you already have a very good kit there. Many times I didn't need to bring a healer because of that shield, or I could protect my party when the fight was just getting too dangerous and I would lose. She made me survive. This will be lost if you get this Matriarch. In my opinion, the other skills are not that important. And even if this third skill gets important in the future, we'll have to use a different Matriarch in order to take advantage, because 4 BP per turn is not enough, even if you are using BP batteries in your team. So, good banner by itself, but you may not need because of the characters that you already have. Now, moving on, we have the kids banner, and Mikhail got some big buffs here. We got buffed Charisma, Agility, Dexterity, and Endurance. Agility 110% is pretty nice. He can take advantage of this because of his passive styles. We have Light Speed Plus. We also have that full AoE attack that buffs Morale up and applies attack down to enemies. So you can use this even faster on Overdrive. People use that skill on JP to buff the damage from Leon. But now we have also Cindy, and she's a very good buffer. Well, this guy here has very strong damage, but some of those are reliant on being on full HP. And he wants to stay on full HP, and when he's not, he's gonna chase with the S1 skill that heals for a small effect. That should be around 1k. And when he's not on full HP, he will just heal back. A very strong character for members because of this. And if you need even extra heal, for example, you are on 200, 300 HP, you can use skill number 1 and he will heal 2 times to get back to 2k. So very nice, but reliant on being on full HP for some of his damage capabilities is kind of bad. And he has a chance to evade when he's on full HP, so it's an interesting design to say at least. And when you count for all of his damage passive, it goes up to 85% increasing damage. That's pretty big, huh? Then, besides skill number 1 that heals and has delay, he has Stingray plus C power for only 5 VP cost. It's pretty nice, and if you have 2 characters with Stingray or Short Belay plus, they will be able to farm most events. And skill number 3 is now fast and applies evasion, and has column, pierce, and lightning damage with double S power. The bad thing is that you can only use this once. So in events that has only 2 waves, that can be interesting if you have another character that can clear one of the waves. But for story farming, is not that good because you usually want at least a character that attacks 2 times, right? Or has bigger power. Now, the second one is Monica, and they buffed her Endurance because it was pretty bad, increased a little of her agility, and that's it. She's a character that likes to be attacked, so you can place her on a formation where she is hit because of high protect tension, but she's not that defensive. Even with 60% endurance, she's gonna take a hit, and that will hurt. But if she gets hit, she has a 25% chance to recover PP by 3 points. That's very nice. And 25% chance to reduce the damage to 0. So, kinda of gimmick, but on Remembrance, you only need to clear stage once. It may help you use some of her skills more often, and I'll talk about that. She also has a 25% chance to buff all surviving allies, dexterity, and charisma by 20%. That's actually good. Charisma is something that she buffs with her skill number 3, but she also has high protect tension that decreases damage by 30% and increases her own damage by 20. It's the only damage passive. She really needs a very strong weapon in order to do damage because she can farm kinda well. The first skill is 3BP Sun spell that recovers HP and applies attack enhancement. And the good thing about Monica is that she uses bows now, but you can interchange the inheritances between the rapier and bow style. So both are based on dexterity 2. If you want to bring this heal to the rapier style, you can. So very nice. Then the second skill is a 5EP attack with B power, not that strong, but has a chance to debuff STR. The intelligence is not that good, but also has a chance to apply charm. So it's based on the charisma, that's a little higher, and we'll have content in the future where we need to charm or confuse the enemies. Well, if you have the latest version of Jamie, he's good enough. So the more important attack is the third one for 8 BP. We have a double S power attack that hits column for Pierce and Sun that was buffed. And this will also recover HP of all surviving allies by very small effect. That should be around 170s or something. And will also buff Dexterity and Charisma for everyone for 25%. So she has a support thing by healing and buffing damage, and also buffing Charisma will increase the heal that you receive. So pretty nice on Remembrance. Don't believe this character will be used in very hard challenges unless they are series restricted. So, and the last character is Teame, and he's a club user, very nice for Remembrance, but on hard challenges as well. He gets a buff in his love. His status are kinda of all over the place. Endurance and will are just average, and agility is just okay. And we have 25% chance to recover himself and someone else from the party on the end of a turn. Well, it's good so that you don't need to heal here and there. The second one, we have a 37% chance to buff OD Gouge for all surviving allies for 15 points. Remember that with 100 points, you get to overdrive. And he benefits from this as well. Because the third passive, when the end of a turn, he will buff his own OD Gouge by 15 points. You also get 25 when you use normal attack or his skill number 1. So you usually get into full overdrive in the end of 2 turns. And when he activates an overdrive, he will get a chase attack in that overdrive with B power, AoE, blunt, and slash. Well, the damage is nothing important, but it will recover the HP of all surviving allies. And JP was just very small. That will be around 200, but they changed that to small effect. Small effect exactly above 800. So it's the same thing as Mask, but better because Time does other stuff. He also has a damage reduction of 25%, so he doesn't take that much damage like some other support units. Now, skill number 1 doesn't do damage, he just charges 3 BP and heals for a very small effect. That should be around 870s. They reduce the cost of his skill number 2 and 3. They are support. Skill number 2 grants the party Guard Up Medium. That decreases damage by 25% for 2 turns. And will also buff 4 defensive status. Endurance, Will, Love, and Charisma. Endurance will reduce damage by physical and magical attacks. Buffing Love and Charisma makes all heals better. So, his own heal will be better as well. So instead of healing for 800 or something, he will be healing for 1000 if you are using this buff. And this reduces the need of Diana, for example. Diana buffs only Endurance and Will, and heals the party while cleansing. But if you are buffing Will with Time and also with Matriarch, you may not need to cleanse. Time can also cleanse on desperate measures. So, the buff value here is 30% when compared to Diana 25, and you need to max that one. And Matriarch is also 30, so very nice. You cannot cast this every turn. You don't need to because it has guard up. You will start by using this, then you use skill number 1 to recharge, and then you use skill number 2 and keep this cycle. It still gets 1 BP left on this rotation that will allow you to use skill number 3 here and there, because you can cleanse with that and then also cast a Morale up medium and increasing damage by 25% for 3 turns, and can be used just before you use Overdrive to increase the damage a little further. So this guy replaces Diana in most strategies. We'll try to replace Howling Princess White Rose if you don't need extreme wheel buffing, and we'll try to replace Mask in some strategy. You can use them together if you want. Because bosses are just doing extreme damage, having 2 strong healers is interesting. You have resistance type when deciding about which character to use. So a very nice one, and I will be summoning for the kids banner and be skipping the Valentines one. I will be giving a gold award on the Valentines one only because of still being a viable character to use Peon of Victory buffs, but as a whole, Matriarch number 4 is the best version of Matriarch, and you do not need Matriarch number 5, only if you want a little extra defense, and if you want a better agility in order to buff faster. That is the only reason for this. Golden Ball has a little inferior strategy, and Hilda is not better than Gianna for Remembrance Battle. With all that said, this is all of my opinions. What is yours? Please see here on the comments. I'll have a full review of both banners. First, of course, Matriarch, and then the kids banner on release day. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you want to support the channel, there are links in the description of the video. And don't forget to join our Discord server, where we discuss SaGa and other games in general. I hope to see you soon in the next one. Bye.